Hello, my name is Nathan Watkins, and today I'll be presenting my case study on one of the most iconic illusions in themed entertainment, the Pepper's Ghost effect used in Disney's Haunted Mansion's Grand Hall or Ballroom. This illusion blends 19th century stagecraft with modern engineering and imagineering to create one of the most memorable scenes in any Disney attraction. So let's talk about the scene itself in the Haunted Mansion. After completing the scene in Madame Leota's parlor, you arrive in the Haunted Mansion's Grand Hall. Guests look down onto a large ballroom where several ghosts appear to dance, blow out candles, and celebrate their swinging wake. These figures look transparent yet fully dimensional, and they seem to interact with the physical set. They are often mistaken as holograms, but it's actually one of the most ambitious and successful uses of a very simple Victorian theatrical illusion created as known as Pepper's Ghost. The documented use of this effect dates back to early Victorian times, and its use and continued use today shows the benefit of using a high impact, low complexity solution in themed entertainment experience. It started out going as far back as the 1500s in stage play, but then was well documented in the 1862 stage play of Dickens' Haunted Man, where they actually pulled back the curtains, if you will, and showed how this effect worked to their audiences after the play, which is the uh, drawing on the right showing how it was working in that original play. In the early development of Disneyland, the effect was found by Yale Gracie, one of the very first Imagineers, in a popular mechanics book called The Boy Mechanic, which I actually have my own copy of right here, and it had a example of Pepper's ghost effect that he redeveloped and retooled for the Haunted Mansion. So Pepper's ghost works by reflecting a brightly lit figure onto a large pane of glass set at an angle. Guests don't see the real figure, they see its reflection, which appears to float inside the physical set. For example, in the ballroom, it's kept dim while the hidden figures are brightly lit. This contrast allows the reflection to appear transparent and ghostly in the actual set. Disney scaled up this effect to an enormous size, requiring precise lighting, glass alignment, and architectural planning. Now, the Haunted Mansion uses two hidden spaces, one above the rider and one below, where the figures are. Many of these figures are mounted on rotating turntables to create a smooth and repeated motion as guests make their way through the scene. A massive pane of glass spans the entire length of the ballroom, and it's angled towards the guests and has the controlled lighting so that guests view the scene from the elevated area that their doom buggies are in, looking down, seeing the ghosts. To create the illusion, like I said, it was a large sheet of glass used in front of the guests, but it was also very controlled lighting and full scale sculpted figures placed on these big mechanical turntables. The ballroom itself sets itself up as this detailed scene, and you see them not only dancing but interacting with things like the chandeliers, an organ, a birthday party happening. People are arriving in a horse drawn carriage, and all of this is hidden from the view of the guest where they could only see the reflection in the ballroom. The Grand Hall scene is one of the most iconic moments in the Haunted Mansion and a perfect example of how Imagineering blends engineering, art, and storytelling. Even decades later, this Pepper's Ghost illusion remains extremely effective and continues to inspire other modern attractions and immersive experiences. Some as newly redeveloped as the current version of Test Track that has at the end a vehicle overlay that shows up in a mirror over your ride vehicle to show you what some futuristic concept cars might look like over your ride vehicle. But it's also used in the Tower of Terror and the Mystery Lodge at Knoxbury Farms. So, in conclusion, I identified how the Haunted Mansion's Grand Ballroom scene is a key example of Pepper's Ghost, and I also showed you the history and explained how it works and broke down the technical components and equipment used. I hope that this shows that the Haunted Mansion remains a masterclass in practical illusion design. Here listed is several of the books, websites, and videos I've used to research the attraction and the Pepper's Ghost illusion I discussed here. Thank you very much.